Hi everyone, welcome back to Beginner's Ukulele with me, Matt Stead. In this video, we're going to explore loads of exciting things. I'm going to teach you a brand new chord, and notice that we're just expanding your chord vocabulary, 1 or 2 chords at a time, so it's not too overwhelming. We're also going to learn that sometimes it's important to change the finger that we use for certain chords to help with certain transitions, which is really going to help your playing. We're going to learn a very simple thumb strum. And I'm going to teach you about the easiest ukulele chord in the world, C6. Before we start, just wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone that sent lovely messages to me. It's really appreciated to know that you're all enjoying the videos and finding them useful. If you'd like to comment on the videos below, it really helps me to see how you're all doing, and it gives me ideas for future videos as well. So please carry on, it's really lovely to see. Thank you. So for this lesson, I'm going to use the Beatles song, And I Love Her. I'm going to teach you how to play it. It's one of my favourite Beatles tracks. And before we start, what I'd like to show you is a really simple thumb strum, which is a really effective way for playing ballads in a lovely, gentle fashion. So at its most simple, a simple thumb strum is just going to strum down on every beat in the music. So that means as we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just slowly going to drag my thumb over the strings of the ukulele. The angle of your thumb and the part of the thumb that you use has a massive effect on the tone of your ukulele. I'm going to give you 2 options depending on whether you have a nail or no nail. When I say a nail, you don't have to have a silly long one like me, which I use for fingerstyle, just a normal length nail. You can still use it. If you are using the nail of your thumb, what I'd like you to do is strum down using the very centre part of your thumb. Notice that my thumb is now almost at a right angle to the ukulele. It's not here where I'm strumming with the side, it's almost perpendicular. And as I strum down, because I'm using the inside part of that nail, there we have it, produces a lovely warm tone. Notice if I use the side of my nail and I catch my nail, I have quite a tinny, uncomfortable tone right in the middle again. A lovely warm tone. So if you're strumming down using your thumbnail, try and strum right in the centre of the tip of that nail. If you have very short nails or no nail at all, the best thing to do is to strum using the pad of your thumb on the left hand side here. So we're going to strum down and gently apply pressure with the pad of your thumb. Likewise to what I was saying with the nail, the important thing if you're strumming this way is to avoid using the side of your nail and catching it again, because that will cling to the strings and produce a really uncomfortable sound. So a nice gentle down strum using the pad of your thumb. As we practice this, we're also going to have a really cool easy win, because I'm going to teach you a brand new chord, the easiest chord in the whole of the ukulele world, C6. For this chord, we're going to not touch the strings at all. We're still going to support the weight of the ukulele here, but just allow it to fall into your hand. Don't let any of these fingers touch the strings. And if we strum down, we have a C6 chord, the easiest chord in the world. And you might think that's a strange sounding chord, but when you hear it in context in the song, it's really lovely. So let's practice strumming that C6 chord. As we do, I want you to notice one more thing. As my thumb falls over the strings, it's not particularly quick. It's not like this. It's a gradual, it's almost like I let gravity gradually drop that thumb down. Notice also that my thumb isn't strumming at the same angle of the frets. It's not going off in this direction, straight over the strings. Notice how it's falling down, almost in a diagonal direction to the frets. That produces this lovely drag sound where you hear the individual notes as part of the chord, which is really lovely. So let's practice strumming down that C6, no fingers at all. If you're using your nail, remember inside part of the nail, and you want a slight angle with your arm so that you can get that inside part of your nail, the middle part of the nail, strumming over the strings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're using the pad of your thumb, you're going to flatten down slightly, but not enough that you're going to press the strings this end to mute it. You still need a slight angle, and we're going to strum down 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. Notice one more thing with this strum. Depending on where we strum across the ukulele strings, it produces a slightly different tone. If I strum towards the top part of the ukulele or over the neck, it produces quite a warm sound. And as I come back towards the bridge, produces a very bright sound, almost like a banjo sound. Now we have names for that actually. When we strum this end over the sweet spot of the ukulele, we call it dolce, which is Italian for sweetly, because we're strumming in the sweet spot of the ukulele. When we strum down here, we call it ponte, because in Italian, ponte means bridge, and we're near the bridge. What I'd like you to do as we play through the song, experiment going up and down the strings until you find the place that it feels sweetest to you. Now a lot of players will actually vary it. Some parts of the song they'll play dolce, other parts they'll play ponte. But just for now I want you to find the place where you feel most comfortable and where you like the tone. In terms of ergonomics, that's going to be here where the body of the uke meets the neck, and also for me that's the sweetest spot anyway. It sounds nicest on most of my ukuleles. The start of this song features a D minor chord. Remember that's like an F chord with your second finger on the C string at the 2nd fret, changing to an A minor chord. Now that might seem quite familiar, and that's because it's the exact chord change that we looked at in Someone You Loved by Lewis Capaldi. This is a purposeful thing, and the way I teach is as old as the hills. I like to build upon knowledge that you already know and gradually add extra layers on top. So you're learning very, very gradually and building up the muscle memory in your left hand for certain chord changes. So a quick reminder, to change from D minor to A minor, all we need to do is leave this 2nd finger where it is and remove the index finger and the 3rd finger. I'm just strumming 4 of each with that lovely gentle thumb strum. To go back to the D minor, the index finger goes back down here on the 1st fret of the E string, and 2nd finger back down here on the 2nd fret of the C string. I take them away again for an A minor, put them back down for a D minor. Fantastic. Take them away and put them back down. Now this song, we have a D minor to an A 3 times. Remember 4 slow down strums on each. Come in with me after 4 and you'll soon see what I mean. 1, 2, 3, 4. D minor, A minor. Put those fingers back down for D minor. Lovely. Take them away for A minor. Back down for D minor, off for A minor. Fantastic, that's most of the verse already. It's a very simple verse, starting with D minor to A minor 3 times. Once you've done that, we have this A minor, we finish on. The next chord is an F chord, and remember, cyclical learning again, practicing something we've already learned. To change from an A minor to an F, we just need to put this 1st finger on the 1st fret of the E string. So let's practice that together. D minor to A minor 3 times, followed by an F chord. Come in together after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave that 2nd finger there. Back to D minor. Another A minor. Another D minor. And an A minor. then this index finger down for an F chord. Fantastic, and pause. Now what happens after this F is something again that we've played before, that cyclical learning, revisiting something to build up that muscle memory. We go from this F chord, we change to a G7 chord. Now remember, changing from an F to a G7, we keep our index finger where it is, we pivot on it, the finger on the G string, the one nearest your nose, comes down a string, and then we put our third finger on the 2nd fret on the A string. Notice that my arm moves out to accommodate the change. And after we've played that G7, we have the easiest chord in the whole world on ukulele, no fingers at all. Okay. So the last part of the verse is F for 4, pivot to the G7, and everything off for C6. And we're going to do 2 lots of 4 of those. So let's try the whole verse all together. I'll sing over the top so you can hear how the song goes. After 4, 4 slow down strums each chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. I give her all my love. That's all I do. One more D minor, A minor. And if you saw my love, now your F, you'd love her pivot too. And fingers off, and I love her. We have another verse after that. Let's do it together. 3, 4. She gives me everything, and tenderly the kiss my lover brings, and we have F. She brings pivot to me, fingers off, and I love her. Fantastic. Notice that even just that simple down strum with the thumb gives it a lovely kind of melancholy feel. If you want the more upbeat kind of feel from the original piece, of course we can strum up and down. I give her all my love. But for now I'm just going to keep to that thumb strum because I really want you to concentrate with what's happening with this left hand for now. The next part of the song illustrates something really beautifully. The chord change at the start of this section is an A minor chord changing to a G major chord. Now we could play the A minor with our 2nd finger, and if you're feeling confident enough, flip to the G chord. Sometimes, however, it's easier to play a chord with a different finger from what we normally would. So in this case, I like to play the A minor this time round, and only this time round, with my index finger. Notice how my other 2 fingers are hanging down, and how easy it is for me then to move this finger down, this finger on the fret down the bottom, and this finger over for the G chord. So I've gone from index, this one moves down, 1, 2, 3, G chord. Now it's much easier for me to change this way than it is to use my 2nd finger and have to rotate and put everything down there. So occasionally we need to change the finger that we would use normally for a chord to make a smoother transition. Let's practice that, 4 of each. 2, 3, 4, A minor. Bring it down and formulate that G chord. Let's go back again, A minor and G. Practice that round a few times until you start to feel quite comfortable with the change. Brilliant. After we've done our A minor to G, we have another A minor, followed by an E minor chord. So, new chord alert! We've got another minor chord to learn. We're starting to piece together these most common chords that come up all the time. And this is a particularly common one in the key of C and the key of G, in fact. We have an E minor chord. Now, an E minor chord can be quite intimidating the first time you see it because it spans 3 whole frets. Look, we have a finger in this fret, and this fret. That can be quite tricky as you're starting. Let's just have a look at it physically, what we're going to do. We're going to take our first finger and we're going to put it on the A string up the 2nd fret. Second finger is going to go on the E string at the 3rd fret. And third finger is going to go on the C string at the 4th fret. Now that's quite tricky to land all 3 fingers like that perfectly. In fact, then my finger went up to the wrong string, didn't it, without thinking about it. So what I quite like to do is put your first finger down, second, third, 1, 2, 3, and visualise the shape of that chord. It's like we're going up the stairs. Get that index finger down first, and it's up and over, up and over. Index finger down first, up and over, up and over. Practice a few times without even doing anything with your right hand. Just putting those fingers down, 1, 2, 3. See if you can gradually increase the speed that you can get those fingers down. Now, a really crucial thing with this E minor, and this is really crucial, try to get those fingers towards the right hand side of the fret. Don't let them drift too much over to the left. This will avoid buzzing. Likewise, as with all these chords, but really crucial with this one, thumb on the back of the neck. We don't want it riding over here. We want those fingers to stand nice and proud on the strings. Again, just the tips of them touching the string. And the moment I flatten, you get this sound. So if you're hearing a kind of a weak sounding chord or buzzing or muting like that, notice as I lift up, clear sounding chords, as I collapse down and my thumb comes up and up again. So we want just those fingertips. 1, 2, 3. Now the E minor chord follows an A minor. So to keep this part consistent, let's use our first finger for the A minor. Then what I want you to do is drop that first finger down to the bottom string nearest the floor, the A string, on the 2nd fret, and then over and up and over, up and over. Let's do that again. So first finger A minor chord now. Drop it down to the A string, up and over, up and over. Let's practice changing between these 2 chords. 4 slow beats on each, starting with A minor. 2, 3, 4, A minor. Down it comes, up and over, up and over. Index. Down it goes, up and over, up and over. Well done, that's it. Up we go. Down we go, up and over, up and over. One more. A minor, whoops. Fantastic, well done. Now we have A minor to E minor twice. That's once, then we do it again. And then we finish off with a G major chord played for 2 measures or 2 lots of 1, 2, 3, 4 if you prefer. That's that whole section. A minor G, A minor E minor, A minor E minor G. Let's play it through together. A minor G to start with after 4. 2, 3, 4. A minor and G. Bring those fingers down. Excellent. A minor. Now an E minor coming up those stairs. Yeah. Another A minor. another E minor up the stairs, up and over, and then we finish with a G chord. 2 lots of those. That's brilliant. Let's try it with the words included then, so you can see how it goes. Get your A minor ready. Remember, A minor to G to start with. After 4, 2, 3, 4. A love like ours could never die. Up to the A minor again. As long as I have you near me. Fantastic. And that's the whole of that section. Notice that all those minor chords in this section, those A minors, E minors, they give a very kind of melancholic feel, almost a sadness to this part of the song. And that's one of the functions of minor chords in pop music. They give a touch of sadness within a song. Notice that it's lifted ever so slightly. As long as I have you near me, by the G major at the end, lifts the whole section ever so slightly, with that major chord being a happier sounding chord. Okay, now we're ready to put the whole song together. This song has the format of verse, verse, bridge, verse. It's often referred to as an AABA format because we have the A section twice, the B section once, and then the A section again. I'll have the chords to help you. The words will be along the bottom, but don't feel that you have to sing along unless you'd like to. Concentrate on keeping that strum nice and consistent with the right hand. If you're using the nail, the middle part of the nail, or the pad of the thumb, avoiding catching that nail on the side, keeping the strums consistent and gentle on the beat. And just practice those changes, getting them as neat as possible. Doesn't matter if you go wrong at all. Loads of people will. You're just learning these changes and it takes a while to get used to them. Just building up that muscle memory. So don't get tense if you go wrong. Just deep breath in and join in on the next section. And you can repeat this as many times as you like. Just go back to the start of this clip and you can keep playing it. Let's give it a go. Let's start with a D minor and we're going to play the A section twice. The chords will be there to follow, so don't worry about remembering the order. Just play them as they come up and you can keep practicing. Here we go. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I give her all my love. That's all I do. And if you saw my love, you'd love her too. And I love her. Back to the start. She gives me everything. And tenderly, the kiss my lover brings, she brings to me, and I love her. Here comes our second section. 2, 3, 4. Index finger. A love like ours could never die. As long as I have you near me. Now we're going to go back to the start. Bright are the stars that shine, dark is the sky. I know this love of mine die, and I love her. Well done, everyone. Isn't that a lovely little song? Notice that those chords, all those minor chords, don't they create a real sense of melancholy? That's the power of minor chords, so different to all the other songs we've played so far. Now, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. Believe it or not, by this point in the course, you've actually learned 9 chords. Isn't that amazing? Now, you might have noticed we've concentrated quite a lot on chordal playing and playing with our left hand at this point in the course, and that's on purpose. I want to introduce you to the most common chords so you can start to join in with ukulele groups and you can play all sorts of songs. It's really empowering and it gets you to enjoy your ukulele really quickly. So at this point, it might be nice to have a look on the internet or get a few music books and try to find some simple songs that you can play along with. Later on in the course, we're going to look at this right hand in a lot more detail. We're going to look at finger picking and playing melodies and all sorts of tricks that we can do with this hand. But for now, keep practicing those chord changes, trying to get them as smooth as possible, carefully trying to avoid those muted chords, and most of all, have heaps of fun.